What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Blood on the Razor Wire TV, where we bring it to you real and we bring it to you raw. Got Ronnie Bow on. He's been around R. Kelly, been around some different people. Had a big case, I think, that came out of Chicago. But anyway, Ronnie can tell his story better than I can tell Ronnie's story. But Ronnie Bow, tell the people who you are, talk about where you're from, and talk about your situation.
My name is Ronnie Bow. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I happened to get indicted in Chicago, Illinois. I was framed out there by a corrupt DEA agent. They framed me as a member of a drug trafficking organization. While being there, of course, at MCC Chicago, R. Kelly was there from about August of 2019 up until when I left, which was May of 2021. So, he happened to become a part of my story. But, I think that just about sum it up.
How old were you when you were arrested by the feds?
31.
31 years old, and that you say they framed you. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, this task force officer for the DEA named Tim Gray, he actually approached me. He wanted me to be informant, said he was watching me for 3 years, claimed he had a bunch of evidence on me that could put me away forever. He wanted me to be an informant. I declined multiple times. I was being harassed by this dude. He wanted me to be an informant so bad for whatever reason. So when I sued him because of, the harassment, and 2 weeks after I sued him, he framed me as a member of a drug trafficking organization, basically retaliation for me refusing to be an informant. So, with him being a DEA agent and me being I guess you can call me a career criminal, his story was way more believable than mine, although I had proof of harassment. I had proof that I sued him before they indicted me. And eventually, I came out on top. He was eventually exposed, not just by me, but by others, which helped my case. And his own agency eventually had to admit that he was, that they discovered that he was actually framing people in cases. So that helped me. I basically settled my lawsuit against him. But by the time that, everything came out about him, I basically had pled guilty to some of the allegations. And not that I was guilty, it just was the strategy that my lawyer felt that would get me out the soonest, So, it is what it is. I had already set time, and the lawyer was basically like, well, if you at least plead to this, you'll be out in a couple years or whatever, versus, the 11 years that they were trying to stick to me.
Talk about this agent, approaching. Does he come to your house? Does he knock on your door? How's that work?
Well, yeah, he never came to my house directly, but, I definitely saw him sitting outside a few times. He would pull me over. He pulled me over at least 3 times before, the final incident, which led me to sue him. So, he would even come in Walmart with me and watch me shop. One time, I guess he seen me buying supplies that could be used to manufacture drugs. And that was in the indictment. So, he listed that, he saw me in Walmart one time buying supplies to manufacture drugs. So, the harassment was pretty much diligent.
So does he approach you when he pulls you over? What's he talking about? Like, hey, I need you. I got you. What's the conversation like?
He would say stuff to let me know that, he has some insight. Like the first time that he pulled me over, he had to be tapping my calls because he mentioned something that was said in a call that was made 30 minutes prior to me being pulled over. And based on the call, I guess it sounded like I was either serving somebody or they were serving me. So he brought that up and asked me, but he basically didn't ask, he basically said that he knew that there was drugs in the car and that he would just let me go, but it wasn't no drugs in the car. So I didn't care about what he was talking about anyway. So I told him, go ahead and search the car. They searched the car for like an hour and a half. They brought police dogs and just had me sitting outside in the cold with cuffs on for a while they searched the car and didn't find it. So that time they, of course, had to let me go. But there was other incidents that occurred after that. And the same thing, basically. Like, he basically was saying, look, we know you doing this. He had mentioned something that sounded familiar. And basically, we don't want you, but if you don't work for us, eventually we're gonna come for you. You gonna do 1,000,000 years and this and that, just to try to convince me that I had fucked up already and that I needed to work for the government to get myself out of a situation.
So they tie you in with this drug organization, right? I mean, the dude that he's talking about that he really wants, does he get swept up as part of that drug organization in Chicago?
Yeah. When the indictment came out, we was both on the indictment. But the crazy thing is that the guy that he wanted, he was a close friend, and I told him after every incident, and he was being so naive. He basically felt like they not talking about me. They not watching me. They want you. They watching you. But I'm letting them know, like, he making references. He never directly said that this who he want. But like I said, with the calls, it'll be calls with me and this guy. And he basically says things like, well, we heard when you said this and he said that. And I'm knowing exactly who they talking about. I know they know exactly, who the call was with. So I'll try to alarm him and let him know, look, we got to be careful. You need to change numbers. I'm going to change my number. And, he basically felt like, no, they watching you. I'm good. They want you, so that was that.
How much time did he end up with?
Well, we both had two separate cases. We were both on the same cases. We had a case in Wisconsin, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where I'm from, and we had a case in Chicago, Illinois, where he resided or whatever. So I beat the case in Milwaukee. He pled guilty to that case. I think he got 7 on that case, but the Chicago indictment, he only got like 41 months. I mean, they didn't have much on us there. The only way you could get a conspiracy is by agreement. Like, you and I would have to agree to whatever, whether it's, okay, you gonna give me a brick every week and I'm gonna pay you 20,000, for example. That's an agreement. That's a conspiracy. It had to be 2 or more people. And they wanted to get us on a conspiracy, but in order for that, either he would have to agree that we had an agreement or I would have to agree. We never had no agreement, so they couldn't get us with conspiracy. But they had allegedly caught who was my girlfriend at the time with like 90 grams, and she said it was mine. I believe they planted the drugs on her to get her to cooperate, but we somehow all got charged with that, even though he wasn't around, I wasn't around. We all got charged with this 90 grams, including her. So it was the 3 of us and somebody else in Chicago that I didn't even know.
Ask you this, right? So now eventually you make it to MCC. What's it like for you in MCC? That's in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
What's it like walking in there?
Well, I was actually at the time the only person there from Milwaukee. Everybody else was either from Chicago, which most of them was, and you had a few other people from other places. So, when you come in somebody else's home, like the first day, I mean, it's protocol where everybody, when somebody new come through the door, they ask you what gang you with or whatever. You know, I grew up GD, so even though I don't gang bang no more, or wasn't claiming GD at the time, it's like, well, I'm from Milwaukee. We don't really gang bang, but I grew up GD, so they basically like, well, you with us. You know what I mean? And they want to check your paperwork, and if your paperwork good, you ain't told on nobody, then I mean, you have your time will go pretty smooth. Otherwise, you're gonna be from jail to jail because once they see your paperwork, you get sent to the hole, they run you to the hole, and then the prison staff send you to another location, to basically protect you. But other than that, I met a lot of good people, a lot of wise people. And I mean, jail is jail, but other than that, my time was pretty smooth there. I even got.
Cook County's a pretty dangerous place. So what's MCC like? Is it violent over there? I mean, is there like some gang action there? Are they fighting each other?
Well, I think Cook County might be a little bit more dangerous because in MCC Chicago, it's mostly federal inmates, and you have a lot of leaders there, and Cook County is just people all over the place, but you actually have like real gang leaders and drug leaders in the feds, and they just go about things differently. It still get dangerous. People still got raped or stabbed and killed, but it's not like every day. And something really got to happen. Like you really have to been done told on somebody or molested somebody, or either you did something while you was there, like stole from somebody, or didn't want to pay your gambling bet or something like that. But it's not like every day you just walk around on pins and needles worried about somebody stabbing you or killing you or nothing like that. At least I didn't worry about those things. Again, like I said, I was on, not that I gang bang no more, but I was on count with the GDs. The GDs is the biggest gang in Chicago, if not the entire Midwest. So, not that I relied on protection from them, but it's just, you feel comfortable and safe when, you the majority, and you cool with everybody. So I really didn't have no issues myself.
What about R. Kelly? You end up meeting R. Kelly in there. What car is he in? Is he riding with somebody or is he just left alone?
Well, when he came through the door, he was on what most people know as PC. In the feds, they call it administrative detention. And, ironically, I was one of the guys who wanted him on general population. Like, I really didn't believe and still don't believe that those allegations was true. You know what I mean? Just for the simple fact, like, when Tupac became an icon in America, he was framed as a rapist. When Mike Tyson became an icon in America, he was framed as a rapist. Kobe Bryant, Bill Cosby, it's a long list. Michael Jackson. So I didn't feed into it. And then at the same time, I was a book author. I still am a book author. And, I had this idea, like, if we could get him on general population and I can hear his side of the story, get him to maybe sign rights to allow me to write a book on his side of the story. This would be big, not just for my career, but, how the organizations move in places like that. I basically just told everybody who I felt like to help me get them on general population. If I could get a contract with R. Kelly, I would compensate everybody. And I was able to convince the people who called shots there that he wasn't guilty and we should get him on general population. So they basically put the word out to him and let him know that he would be safe on general population. And from there, I guess he made the necessary calls to his attorney, and his attorney worked out an agreement with prison staff, and they got him on general population.
So did you have to compensate some of them dudes for getting them out?
No, because the deal went through. Like R. Kelly never signed a contract with me, so you know, it just it never went through.
What was it like though? He was in your unit with you?
He was on the same unit as me for, I'm gonna say, a good month. Like when he first made it to general population, he was on unit 19. I was on unit 15. So I wasn't able to get him on the same unit with me. But just being on general population, it's easy to, we see each other in church or gym. So or the medical unit, I kept running into him. And when you know people who know people in there, it's easy to send him a kite every day. He could send me a kite. So we was communicating like that for a while. And then I actually went to the hole for a couple weeks for refusing, to sell with. It was like a 90-year-old man who was dying. This was during the COVID pandemic. And I just felt like it was a setup. Like this guy was really dying. I felt like, I had a lawsuit against the prison at the time for how they was treating inmates during the COVID pandemic. And I refused. So I went to the hole for that. And when I got out the hole, I ended up on Unit 19 with R. Kelly. So we was able to communicate a lot better then. But it was already like people was making jokes that became rumors. Like they were saying that I was trying to basically extort R. Kelly into signing over certain rights, which was not true. But it started off as a joke, and then it became a rumor. So I believe that's why they separated me and him again, because they moved me off the unit with him like within a good month or so.
I mean, while you're there with him, I mean, you guys are kicking it every day.
Well, on the unit, yeah. When we was on the same unit, yeah, we talked every day.
What was his story? What was he telling you?
Well, a lot of I tried not to get like too deep into his case. I did offer help, and I helped a lot of inmates there with their case at the time, but he didn't really like to talk about his case. He seemed like he was scared that somebody would jump on his case and twist his words. So we more so talked about like the music industry and stories like that went big in the media with him, like him getting into it with Jay-Z and him dating Aaliyah, just stuff like that everybody knew him from and wanted to know personally. We talked a little bit about his case. I gave him a few pointers of where I feel like he could, be exonerated or whatever. But other than that, it was more so like music industry talk.
There were other people in there that really didn't like him, didn't want him out there, felt like they should do something to him.
It was a few, but those people, see how the feds work, every unit, every joint is somebody that's responsible for a certain gang. You know what I mean? Like, if I grew up GD and I'm on the car with the GDs, then it's somebody who is responsible to oversee, what goes on that unit or wherever you at. You know what I mean? So you have people on the car that look at him like, man, he a pedophile. I think he did. He shouldn't be up here with us. But they don't have the say so to say he can't be up here with us. It's the person who controlling that car, and then the other leaders or whatever you want to call them, other cars. We all try to be cordial and peaceful with each other. So if everybody agree, well, look, he guilty. I mean, he innocent until proven guilty. So he's technically not a pedophile yet. He haven't been convicted. We can't just, believe what we hear in the media. So, he good. But yeah, it was people like saying shit like they should stab him, but they wouldn't do it, because if you did something like that without the permission of the person who running that gang, then the whole gang would go against you and you would get stabbed up. You know what I mean? So
There's some benefits though. I mean, the shot caller getting looked out for by R. Kelly to keep him around? Because I've seen that in the feds myself.
well, to be honest, how it works with the gangs, nation business is nation business. So being that R. Kelly wasn't with us, which was the GDs, I wouldn't know if he was getting extorted because he was actually on a car with the Blackstones for whatever reason. I guess, they were saying he had some family ties to them. Some of his family members or brothers or whatever was Blackstone. So the Blackstones accepted him on their car. And, what they had going on within their organization is they nation's business. And, we other nations don't get involved with that type of stuff.
He wasn't a sucker, right? He's kind of known for being violent and shit at times, right?
Who, R. Kelly?
Yeah, like he's not a sucker.
No, I don't know if he was ever known for being violent, but no, he definitely wasn't treated like a sucker in there. Like a lot of people think that, but no, everybody embraced him. He actually was like a comedian. He kept us laughing. Sometimes he'd just bust out nowhere singing one of his hit songs and everybody would get to laugh and the COs would get to acting like fans, So, he was actually treated special up in there, if you ask me.
You ever watch that documentary about him?
Which, Surviving R. Kelly?
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw the first series before I met him. But I end up seeing parts of I believe it was like 2 more series. I saw parts of the other ones, but like I said, I never fed into it. I know how spiteful females could get it. It seemed more so a case of that than, what they was trying to make it out to be, if anything, just for the simple fact, like, why is all this stuff coming up all at once that some of y'all say happened 20 years ago? If it was such a big deal, then, like, it just didn't add up to me why y'all didn't say nothing then, but, it could be true, could not be true, but, I'm not going to be the one to go against them because I don't know.
I watched that, and you take everything, into perspective, right? But there was definitely some young girls involved when he was a little bit, above age, I would say, without being, totally disrespectful. But I watched it and I'm not the jury, I'm not the judge, but it definitely didn't look good in my opinion.
Yeah, it definitely don't look good at all. But see, like looking into his paperwork outside of hearing the stories, like, believe it or not, but in his actual case, there's really no cases of underage females like this proven in his case at all. They have cases in there where females said some they was probably 18 or 19. So it's crazy. Like even the first tape that came out like 20 years ago, with the alleged 14-year-old, nobody ever really proved it. This was the person they said it was, or that she was 14. You know what I mean? And he beat that. So all the other cases, he wasn't charged with having sex with underage females. He was charged with racketeering, a RICO, a one man RICO, which was the first time that one man was ever charged with a RICO. So it's obvious injustice in this case. He got enough people going against him. I just don't want to be one of the ones that's against him. I really don't know.
What do you say about Jay-Z?
Not much, like me and other people were just asking him like what happened, between him and Jay-Z, because that was all in the media. But he basically, to sum it up, he said Jay-Z was a sellout. He explained his side of the story as to why they fell out. That's basically it. I mean,
You were talking about the extortion thing, and people were kind of like, you're trying to, put a book together or whatever you were trying to do, and then people start saying, "Oh, man, you're trying to extort this dude." Did that create issues for you?
yeah, definitely, because it started off like people was joking. People who was saying this knew that I wasn't really trying to extort them, but they knew that I was adamant about uh, getting him to sign a contract and doing a book on his side of the story. So I was like pressing the issue like every day, having other gang members go talk to him. It was a situation in there, which I explained previously, on other platforms that, El Chapo's nephew, Chewy was there. He was on Unit 15 with me actually. And a guy got up under him who knew law, like me, I knew law. And Chapo nephew was only gonna get 5 years for I think it was tax invasion or money laundering or something like that. But when a guy got up under him, Chapo nephew, his name was Chewy. I'll just address him as Chewy, but Chewy told dude some stories that got him jammed up because the guy was actually wearing a wire on him. So he basically admitted to him some drug deals, and then they re-indicted him, and Chewy ended up getting 25 years for that when he was only going to get 5. So this was circulating around the building that, you would think being on general population, everybody is good because everybody had to show their paperwork. But some people turn informant while they're incarcerated. And that was the case with this guy. He turned informant on Chewy.
Some people jump on people's cases in pretrial.
Yeah, basically. And that's what happened. So everybody knew this was going on, including R. Kelly. So seeing me that I was somebody up in there helping people with their cases and basically trying to get up under him and hear his story, I think that he believed that I was out to get him. And he started acting like that. So I at first had, a few of the guys, the GDs or whatever, go talk to him and vouch for me, basically. And I don't think that looked good or set right with him because they didn't come at him aggressive. They just knocked on his door, you know what I'm saying? Can we holler at you? And basically, Ronnie Bo, he one of us. He good. He genuinely just want to help you. And he a book author. They showed him my book. He basically just want to put another book out. He don't even want royalties for this particular book. He just want the credit so that his future books could be big, But after that, he came to me and basically was like, man, you didn't have to do that. Like, I never questioned your credibility or nothing. You know what I mean? You got these dudes coming to my door, and I'm letting him know, like, no, it wasn't like that. So other people who seen that and knew what was going on start cracking jokes and spreading the joke that Ronnie Bo over there trying to extort R. Kelly into a contract. So this joke became a rumor, you know what I'm saying? And a few COs even pulled me to the side like, you better be careful because people going around saying you trying to extort dude to sign a contract or whatever, and that's a whole new case. You know what I mean? So I'm like, damn, so they really saying this and y'all really believe this? So I kind of fell back after that.
Did it create you any issues with your people or with anyone else?
No, they just, they was in support of me, trying to get the agreement basically. And a few of them was just as disappointed as me that, people was even playing games like that. At first, even some of them was, joking about it. But when they saying how serious it became, it's like, man, people play too much. Y'all just fucked up the whole play, basically. You know what I'm saying? Now y'all got people thinking that he trying to use us to extort R. Kelly. You know what I mean? So yeah, it created a situation, a little mess, I guess you could say.
They were acting like the GDs were trying to extort R. Kelly, like helping you do it because you were a GD. Allegations.
yeah, allegations.
Sit back and laugh about it.
I mean, now, yeah, but at the time, you got to think, I'm in prison trying to make something happen for myself. I'm not knowing if I'm gonna get out in 20 years, 10 years, 5 years. It's like this is an opportunity though. Not everybody, especially every book author, get a chance to be around R. Kelly, and even be able to negotiate like this. Like I'm face to face with this guy. Would you please be willing to do this? Here's one of my books. I really do this. I'm good at it. I could probably paint a picture that you the greatest guy on the planet, but it didn't go through. And I was disappointed that the opportunity failed.
Let me ask you this. I know you talked about that lawsuit with the agent. You end up settling that lawsuit. Do you get paid?
Yeah, but looking back, I'm disappointed. See, when I got out the feds, I really got out with nothing. No money, no clothes, no car, no reliable place to stay. So when I got out, by the time I got out, the lawsuit was kind of closing. They knew that at that point that they would have to settle because his own agency produced documents that basically proved that he was framing people in cases. So the first offer they came at me was 10,000, which is nothing. Like my family and people seeing that I'm struggling, telling me to just take that, and it's like it's 10,000. What I'm gonna do with this? I sued dude for $1 million. Like, why would I take 10? So I didn't take that. I kept negotiating and fighting, and once I got him to 30, I felt like which that's still nothing. I just felt like, well, at least I could take that and get my own house, my own car, and live comfortable. Not comfortable, but
Stepping stone. You got a stepping stone when you walk out.
Yeah, and I didn't really have it in me no more to just keep fighting anyway. Like I fought that case by myself without a lawyer. So lawyers wouldn't even took the case because they scared to go against federal agents and federal agencies. And that's another thing that I learned. The case was basically a slam dunk. If I had a good lawyer who was ready to and willing to go against the feds, then I would have won $1 million. You know what I mean? But I didn't. So it's like, let me just take this and move on with my life.
So how long you been out now?
A little over 2 years.
What are you doing with your life? I know you got a couple books out. Tell the people what they are and where they can find them too.
Well, one of the books is entitled The Holy Trap Scriptures. I entitled it The Holy Trap Scriptures because I feel like, God worked through me to deliver a message to the streets. The other book is called Value of the Vagina. It's a women's empowerment book. Pretty deep, my experiences with females, what females should look out for and dudes. I was never a pimp or nothing like that, but I felt like I did cause a lot of females pain through manipulation and all that. So I just wanted to give them the game back so they can peep it instead of allowing it to be used on them. I felt like that's my way of redeeming myself for all the pain I caused, basically. And that's it. I have another book coming out. It elaborates on the stories that we just discussed. I'm thinking of entitling that book "Grind Now, Shine Later." But yeah, I've been on the books. Been trying to start businesses within the prison system to get people their lives back. I was one of the guys incarcerated who felt like I'm not gonna give up. We could still progress and accomplish things through this. So, like I'm doing things. For example, I'm trying to start a national community sports league, and with me being in the feds, I kind of know people from every city and state in the feds. Stand up people, and I want to give them like stock and ownership into these into this company and the cities and areas that they from. I want to allow them to own the teams there, and get the youth that that they associated with involved, and other parents in that and the communities where they from involved. So that's just one of the things I'm trying to do to help give prisoners their life back. amongst other things, but that's what I'm focused on right now.
Well, listen, man, that's what's up. Any links, man, I'll put them in the description. I definitely appreciate you coming on, talking about your story. It's kind of like I think it's an interesting story. So maybe people will check out that book when it comes out, check out your other books. But definitely appreciate you coming on, sharing your stories and your experiences. But tell people, if you like what we're doing, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. With respect, Blood on the Razor Wire TV. Until tomorrow, we're out.